Hey, it's been a long time. Been a long time. I don't even know how long. I couldn't escape the urge, I guess. So, I'm recording. It's been a while. If you know me from before, I've missed you. I've been thinking about you and just wondering how some of you guys are. And if you've never seen me before, this is going to seem pretty weird, probably. Whatever. So yeah, the reason I believe that I've been really feeling this urgency has to do with, well, it has to do with a lot of things, but it's mainly about these, at time of recording, retrogrades ending. Mercury went direct today after being retrograde in Scorpio, and 2 days ago, Saturn went direct after being retrograde in Pisces. So we have Saturn and Mercury. Saturn, time, structure, rules, just form. In Pisces, hanging out in Pisces. Who rubbed off on who over there? It's just really funny. If you could picture, like, I'm bold enough to say, picture a Capricorn, hanging out with a Pisces, for a really long time, like stuck in an elevator or something. Oh man. Yeah. So that happened. And Mercury, goodness. If the planet of magic and communication was hanging out in Scorpio, ooh, we're talking about intuition and all kinds of undercurrents, like dreamland, telepathy, all kinds of stuff. So it's just been intense. And I think I've noticed and felt around me a lot of big revolving doors for people. But they're like revolving portals. I say revolving because there's been a lot of revisiting. And I know that's very generic for retrograde activity, but I've seen it. I've felt it. I've had it in my life. A lot of like returns to give a fresh pair of eyes to a situation. And some of those things needed to be properly laid to rest. Maybe put some flowers on top. And some of those situations, who knows? Who knows? Maybe there's more to it. I think timing. I think what's happened is, every time we close a door that we had left open, I really think we push through and have more available escape routes or options in the maze. Like, I don't know. There's so many visuals, but who knows? And I think there have been some situations that maybe were brand new, but had to be felt out and then shut down, yeah, I'm keeping this relationship stuff, but it definitely all extends into, what you do for work and probably even more situations. But yeah, that one definitely has a occupation feel. So I want to look at these these portals I just talked about. I know I'm not making any sense. I know that. It's okay. Okay. Yes. Wow. Okay. So Chiron showing up as my sort of indicator for one of these portals. It was about healing. It was about completion so that you could get back on track. Something you held on to for what felt like lifetimes needed to be released. Yeah, you held on to it tight. Why? Oh, well, I got the Two of Cups. I think it felt like a bond, or maybe it even was. Maybe it was a soul contract, maybe. And you've had the feeling that you had to defend it and you had to fight for it. And it was a major influence on your own personal character, your standards, the way you were perceiving your life and the world. Had a lot to do with feeling exactly right, exactly at home. I think part of the problem is just being on different levels of depth. You and the other person. And I think it awakened. There you go. Yeah. I think it woke up or awakened. I don't know how to say it. A powerful part of yourself. A part of yourself that really had the ability to manifest and create. And I think part of why this situation you held on to and thought was so deep and necessary, part of the reason you loved it so much is because it made you feel so good and inspired. That you could make things out of nothing, make things happen. I don't know if that makes any sense. So with this being the Chiron portal, I think that situation was kind of like just what the doctor ordered, you know? Like it was just the recipe, it was just the concoction, it was just the potion that would arouse a really creative component in you. So I think you gave a lot of credit to this person, but I don't think that person was on a level of depth to understand what they had sparked in you. And I don't even, I was just thinking I would look and see what this person, what were they about? Yeah, they were just, I have a Two of Pentacles. They were just going about their business. Maybe even just working on material gain. Not really as concerned about soul ties and connections and love and stuff. Okay, so with this being Chiron, this is speaking about healing. So I think this is a really important experience to trigger some healing. So I think it brought this part of you back to life. And I say back to life, it may be another time in this lifetime, or it may just be an absolute awakening of this part of yourself. And it's the creative part of yourself in whatever way that you feel creative. The part of you that I don't know. I am having a hard time with words. The part of you that finds something in nothing, the part of you that sees potential and is inspired to bring it forth into something flourishing. Jeez, man. It kind of gave you a guideline. Like, it kind of gave you, like I said before, this sort of influenced your standards. I think it gave you a guideline for what a certain thing you wanted to feel might be. And I don't know what that is for any, it's going to vary. But I did, this is I am getting tons of music constantly this evening. And I did get Closer to God by Nine Inch Nails just then. And I just really feel this particular situation was just wholly impactful, holy and holy, sacred and fully. Anyway, I think the important thing is this connection, this situation, I really feel has been completed. I think that you got what you needed. And that readiness to let go finally, finally was ripe. Yep. No problem. No problem. I think it left you wondering where to next. But I think it has left you in a position to get something more on your level. Something that when you combine yourself with it, you and this other person energy would be a whole new world. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I gotta move on. I'm not even sure what I'm sounding like. I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Okay, I want to look at that second portal. A second portal that I think maybe you thought was closed and it was fine, but it opened again and you're like, oh, let me dip a toe in here. Oh, and it's Neptune. So the second portal is about, oh man, I heard, what's that Mariah Carey song? Sweet Fantasy, Baby. Yeah, I think I think this is a situation that you thought was probably done. You were fine with it being done. Why did it come back? Oh, I think this situation is more about, oh wow, I'm just getting all these feelings of like really slow growth. I just heard no harm, no foul. And I think I was initially about to say, like, I feel like the other person isn't finished learning from this situation. And you're kind of the healer here. You're the fantasy. And if I feel like you could even take it or leave it. But why not? Is what I get. So what I think you have here is a situation where it's probably just a fantasy type of connection. And I think it was just like whatever. But it came back up because it could be explored further, just for this, like I said, no harm, no foul. Like, it's just like, because it's not gonna hurt anybody to revisit it, and it's not gonna it's kind of like either way. That's a weird thing to think. I just got this like idea that it's like it's like cookie dough, you know? It's good before you cook it, it's good after you cook it. I think this is just like a fantasy situation that has lingered, but it's harmless. Why not? Yeah. I think that's satisfactory. What about depth here in this one? What is... What? Okay, well, I got a Two of Cups, the Sun, and the High Priestess, so I'm not making any predictions about it. I'm not, because I think all things are possible right now. But, like, that situation that seems super casual, that seems like whatever, take it or leave it, it's like no big investment, could turn out how you least expect. That's crazy. That's crazy. I hope that doesn't sound cryptic, because I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I sound like. Yeah, so the Neptune. So we had Chiron was the healing portal that had to be traversed, and then the Neptune. Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. I don't even know if that's the right words, but that's the vibe. And that was a what do you call that? Plot twist. It was a plot twist. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I will say I have known people that started very casually and have been married for 30 years, so whatever. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the third portal that I was saying was revisiting something that, I don't know if I said it, but I think it felt like it might be closed, a door that might be closed, but didn't really feel closed. Something from the past that needed to be revisited, and that is alchemical wedding. Oh my goodness. I think we just shifted timelines, all of us individually, into like, depending on like how you did on the exam, you know. Yeah, I don't know, I got a feeling about this one too. Tell me about what the history of this one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I got Death, Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. I gotta show you this Death card just because. Yeah, I don't know why I do that. So this is something that, like I said, death, it seemed to be done. It seemed like maybe it was done. Even though it didn't necessarily feel done, I think logistically it seemed done. And then the Ace of Pentacles with a Queen of Wands. Somebody in this situation did the retrograde thing. And reached out. And I think there's been shifting and changing in you and this other person. Yeah. I think there's a certain quality that you found in each other that maybe wasn't so easy to find elsewhere. There's something about your connection that, yeah, didn't feel cooked. So with this one, I get the feeling that it was really just like, I have nothing to lose. Like, I'm going to reach out to this person, whoever did, you or them. I'm going to reach out to this person. Maybe they won't answer. You know? It's like, I really have nothing to lose. It's like, it's whatever. Like, somebody put their pride down. Somebody wasn't worried about that. Yep, Page of Wands. Sent the text, sent the DM, sent the whatever. Yep. Okay, so hold on. Got a Hangman and Three of Cups, and I really feel a Pisces on that. But like, yeah, it was like, yeah, like, it's good to hear from you. You know? Oh man. 10 of Cups. Okay, so what's I think this is a portal that, you know, the revolving door that, like, I think this situation resurfaced and has some kick in it. I think it's picked up, it's going to pick up again. What's the reason? Yeah, it just wasn't done. Hold on. 3, 4, and 8 of Pentacles. It wasn't done. There was more to be done. And there's a general kind of like feeling of another go being different because of growth, you know? And I was going to say, in recognition of what it was, and this is the Nine of Cups. Yeah, because there's this other vibe that, like, this particular situation is, I think there was a realization on both sides that this is not just an ordinary connection. There's nobody like you, no one like you. What's that song? The Scorpions. No one like you. I can't wait for the night. Oh, God. Yeah, 8 of Wands, 9 of Cups. There's no one like you. I can't wait. 8 of Wands. Yeah, it's back on. It's going strong. It won't be without challenges. But it's sweet. I feel like you could pick up right where you left off, even no matter how long it's been. But it might be a little slow. Strong and slow. Two things can be true at once. There's still like a waiting to see. There's still a I feel like pride is a thing here. And somebody had to put it down and reach out to the other. But I think that pride remains in both people and will stay. And you know, it's gonna take some time, I think, to get, oh man, yeah, to get to the sun. Okay. But the sun's where we're going? Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is a strong one. And the Devil, the King of Cups, and the 6 of Wands. The heart wants what it wants. And it wants the best. And there's just something about this situation. There's a reason why neither of you could let it go. And why all it took was one person reaching out to the other. And it's just like, yeah. Hell yeah. Because it was there. I think that's why it was just reached that point with one person, because it was just still there, simmering. Yeah. Okay. This is a hopeful situation. And the Alchemical Wedding card that gave us the portal energy is definitely significant. You may have had, you may be revisiting currently a situation from the past that is meant to be revisited. All right, and then the last one. I was looking at a portal, a revolving door, a revolving portal, where I think this would be the one where there's dream energy, conjure energy, magic, attraction. Like, so you're standing in that water that I told you about, up to your waist, and you reach down and you're like feeling around on the bottom and you grab something and pull it up. What is it? Oh, wow. It's the red and white rose. So I think in the beginning of this one, the inception of this one, there was like a knowingness, a certainty that it's what you wanted to give your heart to. Five of Pentacles. Out in the cold. Boom. It's weird because the red and white rose, I mean, that's a whole other, that's one thing in this deck and the alchemy deck, but it reminds me of, it always makes me think of Rose Red and Snow White. And I don't know why, but I always think of like, what was that? Oh, Crimson Peak. Yeah. Something about the snow and the red, and here it is too in this card. Red dress, white snow. I don't know. Why though? Why such intensity? I just heard relentless quest. Intense because it felt like a full-on manifestation of love and soul. It felt like there was something very familiar. Yeah. The moon. Something very I know that's like horrible visually. Whatever. I mean, my camera quality in the dark. Anyway, that's the idea of the moon here too. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, there's a, I don't remember what I was saying. There's a hidden truth. I just heard it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. Keep getting recurring numbers. I think there's a lot of mirroring. Like, 3 Cups, 3 of Pentacles. What was this? Never mind, doesn't matter. There's there's an aspect and an element of this like being fun and being good and being cool, and then on the flip of that, reality, logistics. Like, this feels, even though the elements aren't the same, this is reminding me of like what I was saying about Mercury and Saturn versus Scorpio and Pisces. Like, it's just about as far across as you can get. Like, anyway, that's kind of what I feel is going on in this situation. Like, there's an idea and there's a reality, and there's like good and there's reality. And the reality is, how does this work? I think it seemed like it would work. Alas, 5 of Cups. No. Moving on. What's that? Is it Eurythmics? Moving on. Oh my God, the songs are constantly. What do you call that kind of psychic ability? Where you just like deliver music. Music hasn't stopped playing in my mind since I sat down at this table before I turned this camera on. And anyway, I think this situation actually, who knows why, for sure, for every individual, but I think one reason that might be widespread that this didn't work is because of this. This needed to come back. It couldn't have both. So we got a lot of, I'm looking at four portals. 4 connections as portals. 1 came back to close for healing. 2 came back for fun. No problem. 3 came back unfinished. Because there's a lot more in store. And 4 came in and left because this wasn't the time. What a crazy time for new things. Yeah. Okay. This feels like a non-reading. I don't know if I'll publish this. We shall see. What can we know about moving forward from all this like weirdness that just went down? I'm just gonna put it like that. What can we know about moving forward from? We're still in the shadow, you know, effects are lingering. What can we know about moving forward past these necessary closures and reopenings and everything? Yeah. I really get the feeling that, I don't know, you go and there's a door, and when it's ready to open, it'll open. You go through that, and it's just like the feeling that I get here about what we can know about moving forward is that the doors never stop. The doors, the portals never end. Oh my God. Wow. And you got the Queen of Wands and the Sun. And I was thinking about, you know, the question moving forward. And I really think I heard, as soon as I put those down, I heard anything you want, you got it, that Roy Orbison song. And I think that that's what it is. It's just basically, and I can't even trip right now because I don't know enough about the subject of quantum physics, but yeah, basically you create the doors, you create the portals. They didn't just happen. You didn't just find them. I think you create them. We create them. So, moving forward, you know, there's an infinite supply of portals ahead. And I think they are more accessible or appear accessible to us as we need them. And we'll always need them in sectors of our lives. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay, so yeah, 8 of Cups, the Wheel, and the 8 of Pentacles. See, there it is again. I got them 2 8s and a card. It's like 2 3s into this and the 2 8s into that. And it's like, I don't know. So 8 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, and the Wheel is telling me there's these portals in front of you that you put there as needed. They're all about divine timing. They're all about your own higher source orchestration. Excuse me. And basically, like, focusing on your own best interest and what it is you want to feel in this experience, and what you learn along the way. What you learn and what you sacrifice creates the portals you want to be going through. Yeah, the Star. Yeah. Okay. I gotta go. I don't know if this is any good. I don't know if I'm gonna post it. Yeah, we'll see.